Hi everyone, welcome into the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex for the Acrisure Playbook. Okay, it seemed like just yesterday that they played the Cincinnati Bengals, and here we go again. And this one means a lot. Maybe more for Cincinnati than the Steelers. However, to get on a roll and start getting a rhythm after 3 losses, it's going to be pivotal. And they actually played one of their best games against Cincinnati in Cincinnati, defensively and offensively. So the first thing we're going to look at is the defensive side of the ball and all of the things that they did really well conceptually. And one of the things we want to look at that they did a really good job of, which is so important against Joe Burrow, is they showed pressure a lot in this game. Now, when I say pressure, see everybody here at the line of scrimmage. From an offensive perspective, everybody is on alert. Okay, not just your quarterback. Everybody mentions, we got to get after Joe Burrow, pressure Joe Burrow. Okay, you got to pressure everybody. That means you got to pressure the offensive line, the backs, the receivers, and yes, the quarterback. But they did a really good job, the Steeler defense, of doing this, of making it look like pressure. I'm telling you, from an offensive perspective, this puts an alert out that you got to be ready because you don't know who's going to come and when they're going to come. So by aligning like this, you make the offense adjust. You got to think protection. Now, what the Steelers did a good job of early in the game is even though they threatened it, they didn't bring everybody. So at the snap of the ball, really, they don't blitz. They drop out, but when they drop out, they only rush 4. So technically, it's obviously not a blitz. Even though it looked like blitz, it's not a blitz. There's 4 guys coming, and those 4 guys do a great job of getting pressure on Joe Burrow. But before we get to them, they do a great job on the back end. Now, this is zone coverage. They do a great job of covering people up and not giving Joe Burrow anywhere to throw the football quickly, because that's why he is so deadly, because he's going to find somebody quick, he's going to process it quick. And this is another thing, it hurts that processing because you got people jumping back into coverage and coming after you. Things don't clear up as quickly, so it takes him a little longer. Well, they do a great job on the back end, and then they do the great job of finishing. They close the pocket, he tries to escape, they end up getting a sack. Well, this theme worked throughout the game. Later in the game, they do the exact same thing. They get pressure look. They line up at the line of scrimmage. The only difference in this one, pre-snap, they give a man look. They've locked up across the board, but they've also given a pressure look. Now, again, they're not going to pressure. They're not going to bring more than 4 guys. They're going to only bring 4 guys, and the 4 guys do a great job, but it's the back end that they do such a good job of. The top of Burrow's drop, there's nobody to throw the football. And that is so important. If you're going to give a pressure but not pressure, you cannot give him a way to throw the football right away, because that's where he becomes so deadly, because he's so good at that. Well, they don't. They do a great job of covering everybody. Everybody's accounted for. And then they do an excellent job of getting him down. They don't let him escape and end up sacking him. Then late in the game, when it really matters, they give the exact same look. They give a pressure look, typically, and actually give you a man type of look, similar to the one we just saw. The difference in this one, like I said, from an offensive perspective, you've got to always anticipate they're blitzing. That's why your backs are stressed, your offensive line stressed, your tight ends, receivers, and your quarterback. Are they going to come this time? Well, this time they do. They do come, and they win. Herbig wins on the outside, right off of the edge. First of all, he wins, but he just doesn't get a sack. He gets what ends up being really, I think, the game changer. He fumbles, and then Peyton Wilson picks it up and scores a touchdown. And that right there, you could argue, was the most significant play of the game. These are things you will see again in this game. Can they execute them as well? Now, let's go to the offensive side of the ball. The offensive side of the ball is important because they did a lot of good things too. Russell Wilson, I thought, was probably at his best in this game in 2 phases. Executing the passing game at the top of the drop, being quick, decisive, and getting rid of the football. Here's a great example of that. When they can identify coverage, he did a great job of identifying the doubles, and then the guy who was one-on-one and had the best matchup, which ends up being Austin in the slot right here with the off coverage against Hilton. But he does a great job at the snap of the ball, is he identifies the doubles right away. That is so important because that really clarifies who is going to be the one-on-one matchup. And at this point, you can see it. And Austin does a great job working Hilton to the outside and giving him the middle of the field. And then Freiermuth's doubled, you got Pickens doubled, and he sees that. You get the one-on-one matchup with the off coverage, and he makes a great throw, great catch, touchdown. Now, this part of their passing game was really good. The other part of the passing game that was really good in this matchup is when Russell Wilson escaped from the pocket when guys weren't open initially. So this is going to be a zone coverage. Everybody's going to find a little void in the zone, which is what you should do, but there's really nowhere to go with the football. And Russell Wilson identifies it right away. Zone coverage is really not going to win. And here's what he also did. He escaped quickly. If they gave him an escape route lane, he took it. And then the receivers on the back end, in this case, Freiermuth, he's going to move to a void of the zone coverage that makes him even more open than just standing there. There's great instincts by Freiermuth of doing that, and then Wilson of being able to find him. They do a great job of right after he starts to move. Look at Freiermuth. He moves to the bigger void in that zone coverage. Wilson moves to him and sees him. You know, your receivers can get open, but your quarterback misses it, and it's not going to be successful. So your quarterback has to be able to see that as well, and Wilson does. He does great in this game. He executed these type of plays just as well as the plays in structure. So these are all kinds of structural offenses and defenses that you're going to have to see play in this game, because it's not that you change your playbook, it's that you keep doing the things you did well and build on the things you did and throw a few of those wrinkles that they've never seen before. That'll be some of the critical aspects of winning the second game against Cincinnati.